Welcome back. Whether you stare at a computer all day, look into the sun, or you just feel your eyesight starting to slip, maybe it's time to get an eye exam or visit a retina specialist. Here's Dr. Scott Anagnosti with the Retina Group of Florida with all the information you need to know about your eyesight. Dr. Anagnosti, good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, so first off, tell me about the Retina Group of Florida and what you guys are all about.
Retina Group of Florida is a 9-person retina-only practice with offices from Hollywood, Plantation, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Boynton, and Wellington. We treat only retinal diseases of the back of the eye.
Okay, so this is going to be sort of eye care for dummies. When you say retina,
yes.
If people don't know exactly what the retina is, where it is, you just said back of the eye, but give us a little more description as to the retina.
Well, if we imagine the eye sort of like a camera, the retina would be the equivalent of the film or the digital sensor all the way in the back. It's the part of the eye that actually converts light impulses into nerve impulses to go to the back of your brain.
Okay. And what are some of the more common vision problems that you see from your patients that come in?
Well, the most common thing we see here in South Florida is age-related macular degeneration. It's the #1 cause of visual loss amongst people over the age of 65. We also see a lot of diabetic retinopathy, which is the most common cause of loss of vision in those under 65 in the United States. Other diseases that we don't predominantly treat at the Retina Group but are very common are glaucoma and cataracts.
So as people start to age, do you recommend them coming in more frequently to see you? What's a good time in someone's life for them to go to a retina specialist?
Well, generally speaking, the American Academy of Ophthalmology recommends that everybody have a complete eye exam somewhere in their 30s and 40s. At that point, if everything is normal, what most people should do is just have their glasses or contacts if they need them checked periodically. But by the time people get into their 50s, they need to have their eyes checked at least once every 2 years. And later in the 60s and 70s, it should be an annual exam. And an important part of that is that it needs to be a complete eye exam, meaning dilating the pupils and looking at the back of the eye as well.
Is it sometimes, I don't know quite how to phrase this, but sometimes do you not know until it's too late that you're having vision problems? I mean, obviously you don't see as well as maybe you used to, but sometimes you might walk in thinking you're fine, but little do you know you're not.
Yes, that's unfortunately very common. We have a lot of new treatments and a lot of new ways to manage eye disease, but like with most things in medicine, they work better the earlier we get to them. A lot of times with both eyes open, everything seems fine, and only when you close one eye or the other do you realize that the other eye is not working so well. So a very simple thing to do at home is to just cover one eye at a time and make sure things look about the same as they have. That's really the most common way people don't notice it is with both eyes open, it's great.
And you know, we obviously have a fairly substantial elderly population here, and then the first thing you think about is you think about driving. Mm-hmm. It's obviously a big concern, so given that, it's probably even more important here than in some other places for these people to get their eyes checked.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we have a combination of living in a very sunny place where driving is very important, and the average age of the population in South Florida is higher than in a lot of other places, so eye care is particularly critical here.
All right, let's talk about some things you can do to keep your eyes functioning at an optimum level even early on, whether it's diet, whether it's exercise, anything like that.
Well, it's all of those. Mm-hmm. Mostly all of the stuff that keeps the rest of you healthy will also keep your eyes healthy. Diet, particularly diet high in antioxidants, leafy green vegetables. The old wives' tale is that it's got to be carrots.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Carrots are great.
Yeah.
But so is kale, spinach, anything high in antioxidant.
Chocolate cake doesn't work, ice cream, things like that.
It works great, but not for your eyes.
Okay, well throw a carrot on your
carrot.
What about carrot cake?
Carrot cake will work beautifully.
Everybody wins, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very important. Sunglasses are very important. Almost all sunglasses block UVA and UVB. Some people find that polarized sunglasses are more comfortable because they cut down on reflections. That's great. It helps you see better. They're more comfortable. In terms of the health of your eye, the main thing is that it blocks UVA and UVB.
And we're talking every time you go out into the sun, you should be wearing sunglasses.
Every time you go out into the sun.
Right.
The other thing is, I recommend to everybody that they have a pair of protective eyeglasses. You buy at any home repair store that you keep in your toolbox. every time you touch a tool, you need to put on those protective eyewear. Even if it's, oh, I'm just nailing in this one little nail. You want it to just be a quick, easy, nothing. Wear protective eyewear anytime you touch a tool, especially power tool.
Sure, obviously makes sense. Yeah.
And on the list there, particularly in South Florida, are weed whackers. People don't think of them, but they send a lot of stuff flying.
What about some things that most of us deal with on a daily basis? Staring at your computer screen all day long, staring at your television too close, things like that.
Interestingly, they've done studies looking at blink rate. And in normal conversation, we blink a normal amount of time. When you're concentrating intensely on a computer, on a video game, even reading, the frequency at which you blink goes down. And that means that your eyelids are spreading the tears over your eyes less frequently, so your eyes tend to get dry. And that's the main complaint people get with computers. They get so wrapped up in it, you can't consciously will yourself to blink more. And your eyes dry out, get irritated, and you get that sort of computer eye syndrome.
I'm trying not to blink right now.
Okay.
Just for me mentioning that. But is there long-term damage from that?
No, there's no long-term damage, but it's very uncomfortable, and it can be taken care of pretty easily with artificial tears. There are a million different brands on the market. They're all good. They keep your eyes better lubricated. And it's not a bad idea if you find that your eyes are getting irritated after prolonged computer use to just keep them by the computer. When your eyes bother you, put a drop in, take a 2-minute break, and you'll be good to go.
So again, just to kind of finalize that, prolonged exposure to a computer screen or a television or anything like that, I understand what you're saying in the short term, but in the long term, it's not going to have effects on your vision.
No, it's not going to damage your eyes in any way.
What are some of the treatments that you might give somebody that's just starting to experience vision loss or retinal discomfort? What are some things you can do?
Well, it all depends on the cause. The most common cause of visual loss that we see is age-related macular degeneration. And that's just an age-related process where the cells of the retina don't function as well and start to deteriorate. The first step is increasing antioxidant vitamins. If the disease progresses further, there are treatments including laser as well as injections of intravitreal, meaning into the eye, medications that are very, very effective.
All right, and the last thing is if people want to, pardon the pun, see you or get a hold of you, how can they find you?
Oh, you can find us on the internet at retinagroupflorida.com. Or call anytime, 954-776-6880.
All right, carrot cake it is, right?
Carrot cake it is.
That's what we've learned today.
All right.
Dr. Anagnosti, great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
All right. When we come back, the 110 Tower is one of the largest commercial buildings in all of South Florida and is LEED Gold certified. We'll tell you all about it. Plus, I hosted the local auditions for the new season of America's Next Top Model, and here's your chance to see some beautiful people strut their stuff. That and more when Inside South Florida returns.